2022 Planning Board meeting for the town of Waterboro. We have not a lot of business tonight, so we are going to take them in the order of how they show on the agenda, and we will begin with Angela, if you will take roll call.
James Farias.
Here.
Clyde Smith.
Here.
Lori Anthony.
Here.
Rebecca Higgins.
Here.
Diane Bray. Here. Daisy Walker. Hey. You have a quorum with everybody present.
We were still missing one.
You still have one vacancy.
Yeah, one vacancy. Okay, thank you. There are no minutes of previous meetings yet. The next up is the public hearing. The only thing we're hearing tonight from the public hearing is the Sokokis Trail marijuana grow only facility from Robert Shubert. If somebody would like to give a brief description and overview of the project so that the public knows what we're speaking about, that would be great.
Okay, how about I do that?
How about you step up to the podium, introduce yourself.
Okay. Hi, I'm Rob Shubert. And so I live at 25 Evergreen Drive, and I own an abutting property that is on Sokokis Trail. I do live in a subdivision on Evergreen Drive, so it's a small lot of my personal home. And so I have a greenhouse. By standard, a greenhouse is 30 by 96, so it's over 2,500 square feet. I grow medical marijuana in my greenhouse. I have grown some in the past and currently, but because this facility or this greenhouse is on my budding property and not on the property that I reside on, and because of the size of the greenhouse, I have to get a special permission to have a marijuana grow only facility. So I don't have customers, I don't have traffic, I just actually, it's a pretty good sized greenhouse I got from a friend at a great price, but it would fit 52 marijuana plants if I wanted, but I don't grow like that. I'm not trying to be a business. I have occasionally sold some to help offset some costs because it's kind of expensive to grow with nutrients and soils, not electricity or some other things that you might think, but because like heat or electricity, because this greenhouse is only June 1st to October 1st. So it's just a couple of month period that I use it. But it keeps rain off, which keeps mold down, which makes and bugs out, so it makes things a lot easier to grow. So I had to call it a marijuana facility because I am a caregiver, and that creates the definition of being a business. I'm a caregiver, most specifically not because of the amount I grow, because that's really not, well, I'll just get to that, but I'm a caregiver because I transport, and you can't transport without being a caregiver. And I get this changed into oil for edibles, so it's a lot of family and medical and things that I use it for. And so that's the reason it has to be a business, and that's the reason that I'm asking for special permission or to have a marijuana grow only facility as considered this greenhouse. I am afraid that there's a little bit of skepticism about me having this on my property, and I'd love to address all the concerns for sure. And I also, I don't want this to sound threatening, but I'm pretty sure if I didn't have this special permission, I could take my greenhouse down, grow legally between me and the family members that reside at my house with their medical cards, more plants than I'm growing now. Sometimes I grew more than I am now, and less at sometimes because crops, you just never know. One time I grew a bunch and lost most of it just because of some mildew and issues that I had. So then I tried to grow a little more, and then I didn't have so many issues, and it got a little better. So right now I have 26 plants. It's not really that many. So again, it's more of a personal thing. But because of the location and the square footage, and because I have to be a caregiver, I have to go through this process. But I think my point, going back to my point, I think I'd be allowed to grow 27 medical marijuana plants outside legally on my property. And here I'm proposing you allowing me to have this structure that will be more secure, that will be more controlling over any odor issues. So that's the overview.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
With that, you may sit and we will listen in order. If you could come up to the podium and state your name, I'd appreciate it. To anybody in the public that would like to comment or have a question of Mr. Shubert. Yes, Carol.
I live at 11 Evergreen Drive. Now, he says he has 26 plants now. How can he legally have 26 plants?
I'm sorry, I missed the question.
You said you had 26 plants growing now.
Yeah.
How can you have 26 plants?
Could you sit up at the
Yeah,
microphone?
sure. So right now, they're just in some pots. And because I have, my wife lives at home and my daughter lives at home, we all have our med cards. So we can have 6 medical plants and 3 personal plants each. So we could have up to 27 plants right now without being a caregiver. Plus I have a caregiver's license. I only did the minimum because I really don't need it. So that allows me to grow 12 more plants if I wanted, but I just don't.
I know you said you weren't selling in the past, or you might have said you did, but I don't understand why neighbors have had people come to their door, younger kids come to their door at 10 o'clock at night looking for you. That's one thing. I'm concerned about our home evaluations in our neighborhood with this going on. One neighbor found a camera mounted on her mailbox. I would have called the police if I found it on my mailbox, but she didn't. I question why that was there. Do we have subdivision bylaws, and have they been reviewed? When you talk about odor, I've witnessed it because I used to walk with Dale every day when I was well enough to do that. And every time we went by the house, we could smell it. Last fall, it was in the fall, and I was in my living room, and all of a sudden, out in front of our whole neighborhood was like someone dropped a sheer curtain down all my windows. It was like, I thought the neighborhood was on fire. So I got up, went to the front door, went outside, and it was pot. It was being burned. The plants were being burned, and there was no visibility for a while. I don't like that. One night, a call came in on my scanner. Love my scanner. And someone in the neighborhood was calling because there was a drone flying over the house. So I got up in the window and looked out and watched, saw the cops come, and I saw the drone landing 2 houses down in a driveway. And it was you that called the cops. So I really don't want drones circulating in my neighborhood. I don't think this is fair. I'm very much against this whole thing. Drugs lead to crime. You've already been broken into once. I was told it was $100,000 worth of pot. Whether that's true or not, I don't know. Then last meeting, it was said that there may have to be a flyover for markings of property at the beginning of the meeting when we started, and then we had to cancel it.
Oh, the property line.
The property line.
Yeah, yeah. And it was going to cost $60,000. It was said at the meeting. And I want to know who's going to pay for that. Because it better not be me as a taxpayer. And I have other neighbors who couldn't be here tonight. When they smell pot, they get migraines. So that's another thing. And not everybody that should have gotten a letter the second time got one. That's all I have to say.
Is that correct? No, that is not correct. We actually, because of the GIS skewed lines and the inaccuracies that we found previously, we actually extended the notification lines out another 50 feet. So everybody that should have gotten a notification and then some did get notified.
I didn't get one.
You don't, you did not fall within the
I'm closer than
550.
she is.
She's closer than I am.
It,
She's on the other side of me. Lori knows where we live.
No, I do, and I didn't get one the first time, and I got mine this time, because I am within the 500 feet.
So if she is and she is, I'm right between the two of them. Do you know where I am?
Carol is not within the 500 feet.
Right. but
She's
I am.
not. No,
I'm not?
my driveway just makes it
Oh, your driveway.
just short
Ah.
of, see, that's how I fit in, is
Okay.
because of the driveway that I own up to Evergreen Drive.
I see.
That's where the 500 feet is. And
So
the
then-
code enforcement officer actually measured to my driveway to make sure, because I brought that up, that I had not been notified. So.
I got a second letter. I've got it right here.
Did you get a
I
second
did.
notification?
because I extended it out, and the ones that received notification fell within the extension.
Then
Then
why don't you?
I don't understand why
No,
Susan
that
did
doesn't make
that.
sense at all.
I live closer than those two people do.
Exactly.
What is your name?
Susan Vittorioso. I live at 13 Evergreen Drive.
I believe hers came back.
Okay. 'Cause that would
Did
have
you
been,
send it to 13 Evergreen Drive?
it's certified return receipt, you have to pick it up.
Well, if it's sent to 13, they won't put it in my box.
No, it's certified return
be a
receipt, you
notice.
have to go pick it up at the post office.
Oh. I've been to the post office every day. I don't have anything. I didn't get anything. I've been looking for it. There was nothing there. I would get a yellow slip in my box. I'm PO
Correct.
Box
Yes,
6.
Yeah.
you would have.
And I didn't get anything.
Yeah.
I've been looking for it, so. I don't know. I can ask them tomorrow what might have happened, but.
Well,
if
They won't know, she'll know.
she'll have, if
But
it
they're
was,
really strict. If it says 13 Evergreen Drive, they won't put it in my box, and they just send it back. They'll just send it right back.
So Trio pulled a Matthew Vittorioso,
Yeah, he's my son.
okay,
Yeah.
at 45 Rosedale Ave, White Plains, New York.
Did they send it to him?
yes.
Oh, well.
He would be
He doesn't
listed.
even live there anymore.
That's the tax, that's the.
That's
what's in the
tax records.
Although I pay the taxes. Okay, well, that's why it is.
Yeah,
So we know why.
yeah, yeah, I went to your son.
They don't have his right address, they don't have, I mean, whatever, doesn't matter.
Yeah, yeah, sure,
Sure.
yep.
The other concern I have is the aquifer. We do have an aquifer. That's what I'm assuming. I don't know all this stuff. But last meeting, he said something about using 10 gallons of water a day to water. I just have a few vegetables, and I'm sure I use more than 10 gallons when I water. I thought that was way off. A gallon isn't much.
Okay.
Rebuttal, is that my?
You can respond.
Oh, response. No, I like to. You know, I know that that Carol and these guys have all been in my neighborhood way longer than I have, but I've been there 22 plus years too. I raised my family there. I care about my neighborhood. I love my neighborhood. I've raised 3 beautiful children there. My gosh. So I just want to start off. And you know what? Carol and I have been very friendly in the past. I'm a very reasonable person. I don't even see that there couldn't be a reason why when she's walking by my house again that we're not talking about something, and my wife will need a few gardening tips as well. So we do just need to get this out in the open. And I appreciate all your concerns. My wife has the same concerns. My wife has nothing to do with it. She said as long as it's legal for you, you can do it. So anyway, she feels very similar. Anyway, subdivision. This is not in the subdivision, so it really doesn't need a review. I started off that way because it was part of my property and I was going to marry them, but it's not in the subdivision. That's why it didn't actually go through a subdivision review. I don't sell anything from my house. No people come to my house at all. Nobody that has to do with that aren't very specific friends there for entertainment. I sell 0, God as my witness, marijuana out of my house. I would never put a camera on somebody else's mailbox, let alone a letter. That's a federal offense. I don't know what happened there. Their marijuana smell is an interesting thing because if somebody's smoking marijuana, that can be a smell that is not very nice. I get that. Fresh marijuana is a lot different. It does have a unique odor. Some people don't care for it, though I find very rare when people actually smell a fresh marijuana plant. I have a strain called Pineapple Express. That stuff smells like pineapple. It's really cool. I did not ever have filters before this past year, so I added charcoal filters, and I have 6 big fans. They run right down towards the lake. There's no houses between that and the lake. There's trees. Those 6 fans, they run 24,000 cubic feet per minute down there, filtering the air, not coming out the front of my house. So it's a different scenario. So before I didn't have all that, and hence why I had some heat and mildew problems. But anyway, another story. So I have filters. If those filters are not enough, which I can't imagine that they wouldn't be, they also make some internal filters I can add that just blow the air around inside, don't blow it out, and they filter the air right internally. So if it becomes another issue, which all it'll take is a call, I can add some more filters. I don't want that smell affecting any of my neighbors for sure. Though I would bet my mortgage that there's more plants growing in my neighborhood without doing what I'm doing. So I want to be very cautious in the future that if there's some smell, that we maybe we should walk around the neighborhood and really see where it's coming from. But that's my feeling for smell. I'll be able to handle my smells for sure. This sounds weird. All right. Last fall, I did burn some of that was mildewy marijuana because I did do that. I don't do that anymore. I bag it and dispose of it at the town dump. Simple solution, won't happen again. And I'm not just saying this stuff to make it up. This is the way I live my life. I like to work with people and still do what I want. So I dispose of stuff right to the town dump. I bag it up now. But so hopefully that'll be happy. I think that a lot of people consider marijuana a drug. Heck, maybe, yeah, sure. alcohol's a drug. If I look at, I have friends that I work with, golf with, state trooper, he's a town officer. They said there's more problems with alcohol than marijuana. Domestic disputes, alcohol, not marijuana. Killing accidents on the road, alcohol, not marijuana. It's not that same type of drug. It's just been, it actually can be better than alcohol if we really opened our minds, but years of history have not really, it's been different. It's a new time, and it's time to look at the reality of those two. Heck, we had prohibition one time, right? So I'm sorry that it's considered a drug. I wish more people would actually come over and take a tour and see what we do and see how people use it, because they use it a lot better than alcohol on a lot of occasions. I did say that I use 20 gallons every other day, which equates to 10 gallons a day. I had 10 plants, so I'm going to change that and say I use 26 gallons every other day. So I use 13 gallons. Now, my wife uses more because she does in the garden. My watering is very specific. It has to be right around the roots. There's no waste. It's on the schedule. They get 1 gallon every other day. That's what they get. I had a drone flying around the neighborhood last year. Made me nervous. Like, what's a drone flying by? I called the police. Check. I think that was it. I mean, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to sound sarcastic up here. I know that I probably did a little bit. I really just want to address everybody's concerns and move forward. And I have options of being able to make adjustments if needed. Questions?
We're still in a public hearing, so the planning board will
Oh,
speak
I'm sorry.
after. No, that's
Yeah.
not, that's,
All right.
that's after.
So am
we
I
get
done?
we get our chance after the
Oh,
public
gotcha.
has spoken. So, no, you can sit back
I'm
down.
done. Okay, great. Thank you.
Dave, is there anybody on Zoom? Nope. Thank you. Is there anything else from the public that would like to comment, questions, concerns? It hasn't been spoken about yet. Seeing none, I'm going to close the public hearing. And we will move on to the next agenda item. Old business, which is the marijuana grow only facility on Sokokis Trail. BJ, do you have anything at this point you want to say, or are you set?
Well, I really don't have a lot to add in either way to this, only because I have not been involved in this particular issue. I can only talk to the regulations, and as you know, we have reviewed other grow-only facilities here in town and been very restrictive regarding odor control issues, safety issues, having cameras around the site, and so on and so forth. So, I mean, I can go into some additional detail on that if you'd like, but pertaining specifically to this issue, I know that the applicant has been dealing with Mike for a very long time on trying to get this to this point. But other than that, where I've been away from this board for a couple of months now, I apologize. I haven't kept up on this particular issue.
Okay. Thank you. Questions and comments from the board?
I do have a question about the odor. How do we determine where it's coming from?
Trick.
I mean, I think. Oh,
So, in general, there's a couple of ways to answer this. One is that most facilities use negative aeration and charcoal filtration. So, as he mentioned, the charcoal filtration, that really does a pretty good job at cleaning the air before it's sent outside. The way to know if you have odor issues is, and I apologize for it, but the only way we've ever really been able to identify it is it's like a skunk odor, and you get a fairly heavy skunk kind of odor. If you're not having that odor, then you know that if there is a filtration system, it's doing its job, and you're not having any major odor issues outside the facility.
So there's no scientific measurement. It's, you walk by, oh, it's coming from there.
Well, you're assuming.
You're assuming it's coming from, but,
You're assuming.
yes,
Exactly.
yes.
Because
There
there
is
are
no-
other places that are growing.
It is one of those
You're assuming.
items that there's no measurable way of detecting it unless you bring in a professional odor sniffer, and I don't say that lightly. There are people that do that sort of thing, but they cost a lot of money, and bringing them in to do that is only if there's a continuously ongoing issue. But there's no standard set of numbers or anything that you can use to measure.
Leisha, don't sit down. I just want to address this now instead
Certainly.
of bringing you back
Yes.
up.
No, that's fine.
Because I did have a question on the odor and maintenance of those filters.
Yep.
And I know we've approved one other facility.
Yep.
That's a very extensive facility, but he's commercially doing stuff on a larger scale. Have you seen any sort of maintenance that code enforcement? I know code enforcement handles the odor part and will handle maintenance and check the records and what. Have you seen any schedule of maintenance yet?
Pertaining to this particular project, no, I haven't. Again, I haven't been involved at all, especially more recently. Mike and I have had no conversations regarding this. On the grander scale, excuse me, I've been involved in review and approval of several, I want to say numerous, but I don't want to make it sound like hundreds, of facilities around the southern part of the state, and I have not had any heard of any complaints or concerns. There's a fairly large grow facility in Berwick. There's, I want to say, 6 or 7 buildings with multiple tenants in each building, and there are residents around them. They use the negative air charcoal filtration system, and there's never been a problem that I have been made aware of.
Okay. Don't know of one that's been set up yet for our other facility?
No, I haven't heard how that well, the only thing I've heard on that facility is I believe they're looking to expand, but I have not.
They haven't even started yet.
Oh, really?
Yes, they're not even.
Yeah, so they're not even up to the maintenance either. That's why I was
Right.
asking,
Yeah,
I was
here in
just
town, I
curious.
mean, I have heard, nothing.
Yeah, no, I was just wondering to get a general sense for myself and the public as to, how often they're checked. Maybe you could answer
I can.
manufacturer specifications on the charcoal
I
filters.
wrote a note to
Okay,
talk
all
about.
right.
And certainly, if you get to that point, you can condition it on those maintenance being filed with Mike as to replacement of charcoal filters or however they're doing it.
He said he would regulate.
He said,
Yeah.
he
Okay.
did say he'd regulate that, but I was
Yep.
just wondering if there was anything you had seen.
No, but that clearly would be a condition of the approval if you got to
Yeah,
that.
that's what I was thinking.
Yep.
If you'd like to speak on the
Yeah,
filters.
so the filters that I use are from Filter By. I put them in the packet. They're recommended to be changed every 90 days. Yep. So, and then once again, I'm not like a facility that goes all year round. And so the odor that could exist from my facility, I mean, marijuana odor only starts once things bud a bit, and it's only about a 4 or 5 week period. So, right, I'm gonna be buying a new set of filters. They're not expensive. They're cheap to get, they're easy to get, they slide in and out. The ones I put in the packet are meant to handle the amount of airflow that I'll be sending through them.
6 fans.
Yes, and I boxed out another one just in case I needed to add another fan, just to help with that.
Any other questions, comments, concerns?
So, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
So your capacity is 27 plants at all times?
No, that's just what I was legally able to do without being a caregiver.
Okay.
The numbers are weird. I happen to be growing 26 right now.
Okay.
So I could grow 27.
Yeah.
Plus
And
13.
then with the caregivers, I could go up to 36.
Yeah.
But I don't do any of them. I only have the 12 license just to
Yeah.
pay the minimum because I
Gotcha.
just don't need that. But
So but your capacity would be at the 36?
my capacity would be at 36 plus 27.
Plus 27.
If I went to the max, but I
Okay.
couldn't fit that many in my
Okay, that was my
greenhouse.
question. So how much of the existing
greenhouse
structure- how much
should
are
be
you using?
able to, right now it could fit 52. It's a little tight. So I
Okay.
was
Yeah,
thinking about
52,
48 to
52.
52.
Up to 52, okay.
But at a max 52.
So, but currently you have 26 in there?
Correct.
So you're at half capacity?
Correct. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Should I answer the other question that you guys had about the cameras or security or?
Yeah, why don't you reiterate that? I
Okay.
remember it
Yeah,
from the last
yeah,
time.
so,
Go ahead.
right, I have, well, of course, there's requirements by the state, which is either a fence or an enclosed area. I have both. I have a fence and I don't need both, so I have both. And I have 2 sets of camera systems, one that has an internal memory and one that's an online, just so I have both, with about 20 cameras. I have signs at the top, so if anybody looking down Route 5, it's growing in, so you don't see it very well, and it's much now, but it won't be grown in because I have to put the fire truck turnaround in. But the signs will be visible. The cameras, I put it way up. I have a system that just kind of circles. I put it way up purposefully to get a good view, but also so that people also don't want to go around there. Like when they know they're on camera, they're more reluctant to want to be curious. So it's going to look nice up top. I actually think if when it's cleared and you look at it, it's got the fence. You can see the top of just the top of the greenhouse. With some gardens. It's kind of it's nice. I try to make it cute. Well, by my wife's demand. But yes, I feel now, and I actually. Somebody came and took some plants from me a couple of years ago. They were
Is
just.
this the break-in that
That
she
was-
referenced?
Yes, this was just some it happened. I worked with Officer Sanborn. I know him very personally. We went around, right? I didn't have a fence. I didn't have cameras. I didn't have a dog. I have a dog, right? He likes to patrol. But I was just a beginner and really I wasn't a caregiver, so it wasn't required at the time. And yeah, someone came and stole a bunch of plants. That did happen. And so yeah, my wife was a little nervous, to be honest. But now, I mean, we got a lot of things. Nobody comes near us. Or if they do, my grandchildren come over. They hang out. Our whole family hangs out at our place, right around this big old greenhouse. Nobody cares anymore. So I just feel like with the security that we have. Oh, plus the fence is locked, and I have the Knox box for the fire department.
Yeah.
So that's my security answer.
So you don't need both the fence and the security by law?
No, you don't. You don't need a fence and structure. Right.
Okay, okay.
But I have.
Yeah,
both.
but you have both. Okay.
Yes.
So Because I know pictorially, it looks like stockade fence is around the entire thing, but that's only around the back part of it, right?
Yeah, on the.
And then the other is a wire, a
The
welded wire.
abutting property has stockade fence, but
Right.
I didn't continue it onto my parcel because, I don't know, I just wasn't sure how that was, I wanted to, there's kind of still separate parcels. I'm still
Yeah.
trying to treat them as separate parcels.
Yeah.
So I put a wire fence around my home.
Around
part.
your residential, and the stockade is around the greenhouse?
That's correct.
Survival rate, I think you addressed that. Number of anticipated plants, you addressed that. Maintenance record, I think is a good idea.
Yeah, I was actually going to ask about the sizing of the filtration. I think Mike has had a conversation with you about the
Yes.
sizing of that. Can you speak to that a little bit?
Yeah, so right, there's a greenhouse will have a certain cubic foot, and a fan has a rating. And so my fans are rated for 4,500 cubic feet per minute. And so Ledgewood Greenhouse, who makes my greenhouse, said I had 24,000 cubic feet. So I had 6. So I had probably 2,000 square feet more air power than I needed. And I did think that adding the filters was gonna slow that down a little bit, and there's not a rating for that. So I have 2 more fans. One's boxed in, and I was just going to monitor the temperature, just because I can tell if the air's not moving, the temperature will go up. So if I'm not getting the proper air movement, then I'm going to add the other fan, which will also have a filter as well. And if I needed 2, well, I doubt that. But so yes, the fans that I have are all rated, and Mike has that information in my packet that I submitted. So yeah, I adequately, and it's important because it gets hot in there, so I really have to move the air for sure.
So I know you said you're only using 13 gallons of water a day, which surprises me because usually you use a lot of water with marijuana plants. But I'm assuming your nutrients are hypertonic, so you do use less water.
No, so as the plants get bigger, the water will get up to 1.5 gallons. Yeah, so
So you will use more water per day
I
then?
will get up to about 39 gallons every other day.
So there's a lot of nitrous and phosphorus in those organic fertilizers, with most fertilizers. So where's the runoff? Because you will have runoff. They're not all just going to the plants when you water. It's not unless you have some kind of system. Because my concern is the nitrogen and phosphorus cause allergy and plankton, something.
Yep.
And Lake Arrowhead's like 700 feet away, and that stuff doesn't get filtered well in ground.
Yep. That's a good point. So all of the nutrients I use are from Advanced Nutrient Systems,
Yep,
and they're
I saw
all
that.
organic. Yep.
Yep.
So they do have. So I see where runoff comes from the greenhouse, where the rain comes. Actually, I get no runoff because it kind of goes around and my garden absorbs a lot of it. So my garden gets the benefit of that runoff.
Yeah, but it will kill those plants eventually too.
I'm sorry?
Your nitrogen and your phosphorus will start killing those too. So it'll damage those plants eventually.
No.
Well,
Yeah,
I mean,
No.
if you looked at the
Depends on what it's
numbers,
growing.
Right.
like all nutrients have 3 numbers.
Mhm, I
It'll
know.
be, so you're very familiar
Based
with
on the
those.
plants, yeah.
Yeah, and so it's the nitrogen and the phosphorus.
Yeah.
So even the stuff that Miracle Grow has that in it. And so I use less nutrients in my greenhouse than in my garden, because I just have a bigger garden. I know that I'm kind of close to the lake, but the sand it's so much sand. It's all sand. I've dug it. It filters very well, And the Saco River corridor, I've checked with them because I also I'm a real estate agent, and there's things that you need to know about the Saco River corridor. And they actually had nothing to help me with or suggest at that distance. So I can't tell.
So does I know the state of Maine has guidelines regarding marijuana wastewater and recycling.
Mm-hmm.
And are you going by those?
I actually don't.
Because I think they also include EAP in those, or DEP too.
Yeah, so there's a little bit of gray area in those, and most of those aren't are for, like, a lot of places, facilities, they use a lot of water and then they pump it out. It doesn't actually even go into the ground because they don't grow in the ground. Mm-hmm. So the regulations are based on those types of wastewater, or I don't know if I'm using the right word, wastewater. Versus
facilities versus
versus in the ground. So they don't have regulations for that yet because they don't really have any. They're still growing. The OCP, which is the Office of Cannabis Policy, it used to be the OMP. They've changed that. So they don't have the in-ground guidelines set. But I get notifications of all their upcoming changes. I mean, they're constantly reviewing litigation in that area because it's new. So they send updates monthly on a lot of things. So I definitely pay attention to those, and anything they require, I'm on top of. I mean, they're pretty strict, and you can lose everything if you don't comply with them.
And you're not extracting oil directly, you're delivering.
Correct. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was just thinking about the question. I have a lab extract, so I don't do any processing or anything like that. No.
So, Lee J, do we have anything, does DEP get involved in regarding periodic checks if they're so close to the lake in water?
Trying to look that up right now.
I know Saco River corridor does not, after 500 feet.
Yeah.
They don't care. So it has to be, and he's way past that. Because we've had another, this came up before.
Yeah.
I was just curious.
I will keep looking while you're talking, but that's what I've been trying to
Yeah, I
do.
don't know about DEP. I just know about Saco River.
All those questions are good because this is new, and so we're all learning. So all these questions.
The
are
state
good
doesn't
questions.
even know, like you said.
Exactly. It's been difficult for sure. But thanks.
Awesome.
Yeah, I think the state of Maine actually has the regulations on the high carbon filters that you should use too, because it's not just the odor, it's also like some of the contaminants that get in the air.
For sure.
Let me see if I have any more questions.
That's right. I use the best carbon filter that they make that I could
And
find.
I think Mike talked about carbon filters inside a structure versus when we were doing the other grow, talking about the difference of them inside.
Yeah, the
And instead
negative.
of how they're different from, right, just the people growing them or
In the yard.
in their yard.
I'm sorry, was that a question? I'm sorry.
No, I was
okay.
trying to remember
Gotcha.
from our previous meeting with you where Mike had brought up about those filters and how they worked.
Yes, so I think that was, I reiterated earlier, that was the conversation. Like, he said he would monitor,
Right.
and that's awesome. But we did say if that wasn't enough, that there's more options to do internal type filtering.
I think that other grow had different types of systems.
Yeah, I think there was something about that.
Yeah, that's what I remember.
And those guys grow hundreds of plants at a time, and I grow 26. So if my filter system's inadequate, I'll surely beef it up. It's pretty easy to do.
Welcome. Anything else?
Is it quick because the public hearing is closed?
What's that?
Is it quick because the public hearing is closed?
Yeah, I'm just curious, as an individual, what can we actually grow ourselves?
Good question.
You can grow, what, 12 plants yourself, right?
You can grow 3 personal and 6 medical if you had a medical card. Medical cards
Okay.
are $50. So
So-
individuals generally can grow 9 plants pretty easily.
What's that?
If they have a medical card.
Yeah, but 3.
He's gonna look
So,
into growing.
if I have one more question, I'm sorry.
No, that's fine.
So I know the state regulates every tier of capacity of growth, canopy, I guess they call it with marijuana. If you have like 500 square feet of canopy, it's a tier 1.
You can choose.
2,000 is tier
Yep.
2.
I chose not canopy, just because I don't grow that many plants. So you can do it by plant count or canopy. But I chose plant count.
Yeah, the other people were.
Canopy is.
The first growth.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, they're
It's
commercial
a different
growers.
category
Yeah.
to allow you to grow a lot of plants,
Additional
not a
plants.
stall.
Yep.
Are you getting closer?
Close.
Okay.
So we're researching, maybe we could talk about either way of what our research comes up with. What's the research is?
He's looking
The
up-
nitrates.
Yeah, nitrates.
Oh, okay.
DEP.
And what would, DEP?
Right. Maybe they probably would come up with some yearly testing at some point.
So this is a generic, if you will, piece. It's not regarding DEP. But it says the most common water regulations for cultivation facilities concern volume, usage, limitations, and wastewater disposal procedures. If a facility is regulated on water quality that can be discharged into sewer, the agricultural runoff water must be processed, made possible with a variety of methods. These methods include filtration and recycling, off-site shipping, on-site evaporation ponds, evaporators, dilution, processing through artificial wetlands, and wastewater treatment. So, and one of the ways of dealing with that would be to actually put in a septic system specifically
But
for...
he's not mixing it with wastewater.
He's not.
But
And he
But
doesn't have a
you do
sewer.
have a wastewater that has to be
as a
Correct.
result.
as a result, correct?
Correct, yeah.
Or you could require, like a 500-gallon tank where all of the wastewater eventually gets to, and then the tank has to be disposed of by a
Pump system
by a
company.
yeah,
By a
septic
pump
system
company.
coming in and pumping it to take it off
Just
site.
like a septic.
Right. But it's
Can you tell me what the difference between his wastewater versus a facility that grows tomatoes in their
I
greenhouse?
can't. I don't know. I'm not.
So that would be my
I don't
question.
grow myself, so I don't know
If-
enough
How
about
did,
that.
if you have facilities in town that grow vegetables, how are you contrasting that against pot?
Right, look at the Gerard.
That was the
Greenhouse.
first thing that just
We
came to my
we
mind.
just approved them with these big ginormous 5 greenhouses. We're not
5 or 6,
regulating their
yeah.
wastewater.
But I think we're talking, is it what's
THC?
the THC that's in the marijuana, and the concentrate of the nutrients you put on it accumulate more concentrated waste versus vegetables. I think there's a difference there.
I think
I don't know.
I think the THC definitely adds something, yes, but
I-
the chemicals or
I'm
the
sorry, I'm
organic.
not sure how THC would get into the water.
When water runs off the plant, it's
Well, it's in the greenhouse, so it doesn't run off. It only gets watered down by the roots. That's why I don't use as much water, because I water only down by the roots, and there's no rain. So I don't flush like a lot of facilities. They use a lot of water to do different flushes and changes, and then they dump a lot of water. I don't do any of that. I don't have a need to.
The farm has an irrigation system,
Right.
so they're
Right,
spraying
so
the
they're
whole
spraying,
plant.
yeah.
Right.
Right.
He's just
Yeah, it's
It's still a concern of mine.
No,
because
and
the
that's
water will
great.
run off somewhere.
No, great question.
Get all of it.
also a great
question.
starting point for future places that are bigger and do different things, for sure. This is a learning curve again.
Yeah, no, great questions.
Mhm.
Are we gonna wait on that, or are we gonna move forward?
Give them a couple more minutes.
Again, this is another article regarding wastewater from cannabis. It says wastewater solutions vary depending on the state or local authority. Currently, there is no specific regulation surrounding on-site wastewater treatment systems and allowance of cannabis processed wastewater. Municipal plants are regulated in most areas on a case-by-case basis. Some facilities are recycling wastewater for zero discharge, while other industrial scale facilities are employing collector, store haul strategies. Third, take note of how other facilities are handling cannabis wastewater and find out how it may be impacting the facility. Some local municipalities are requiring any cannabis-related facility to characterize their waste before they allow the location to release wastewater into the wastewater treatment plant. That's not like in a growing plant, that's like in a treatment plant.
That, yes, they're actually storing the water and then
Exactly.
releasing it.
Correct.
This is just, just watering the plant.
Honestly, those plants suck that water right up. Like they only get a gallon and a half later in the season. It doesn't. I don't know if a drop gets down there because they.
Okay, medical marijuana focuses on CBD extraction and processing. This is the active ingredient in cannabis that provides the calming and healing effects that help with certain medical conditions. It does not have the psychoactive impact that THC does, or the high that people look for in recreational use. These medical marijuana facilities undergo a stricter, more controlled process with less pesticides, measured nutrient usage, and less environmental impact. Variability due to the use of grow houses. Therefore, these medical grade facilities tend to be more regulated and have better established good manufacturing practices in place.
Yeah, those are more commercial.
Yeah, wastewater varies depending on the type of facility.
Yeah, they're talking more about processing.
Yeah, and you know what? THC actually isn't effective until it goes through a decarboxylation process, and that requires a lot of heat. So I mean, you could go chew one of my plants and just want to spit it out, and it wouldn't do anything to you. I don't. Haven't heard of any way of it getting into the water, most specifically.
Yeah, this doesn't give us much more information.
One day it may be, as the state has more of the facilities and they learn more about the facilities, someday they probably will, and I'll comply.
I don't see anything else that
Okay.
gives us any direction on how, without spending some
Yeah.
considerable time on it.
And again, so my concern was if DEP doesn't do a regular check, I would hate to get down the road a year from now and damage is done before they actually put something in place. I mean, if it hits Lake Arrowhead and we get allergies and
Already there.
it's
No,
They're
hey,
only-
do you know what?
make it worse.
Maybe it kills milfoil.
Milfoil,
No, I'm
yeah,
just,
that's
I'm
horrible.
just kidding.
Yeah, that would be wonderful.
No, I know, right?
Kill the milfoil.
It probably would.
I'm gonna pray for that.
Yeah.
But it also killed it.
Well, but I'm thinking of my backyard garden, I'm closer, so, I fertilize, so.
Gardens are popular. I mean, food's expensive. A lot of people are gardening right now, for sure.
So, no, and I, when and I use my rain barrels, so,
Yeah, that in itself is a whole nother,
yeah.
that's a whole nother chapter.
Yeah, so I use the rain barrels for water in my gardens, and I don't divvy out a gallon per plant. It just.
There you go. That's happiness for the whole lawn.
I'm picturing your 39 gallons every other day, and then what I use to water my garden.
Oh, my wife. Well, we got the pumpkins and watermelons. They take a lot of water.
Yeah, the enclosed marijuana plants probably aren't doing.
No, but those pumpkins are starting to grow.
Yeah, okay. That's what I'm trying to decipher in my head is that, 26 plants, even 52 if you did max. It's all contained. That's gravelly soils up in there. My septic system probably puts more stuff in the ground than what you would. I'm guessing. I'm not an engineer or
Right.
an environmentalist, but
So what happens if you want to expand? You have to.
You
You know what?
condition him on expansion having to come back to this board for.
And Mike said that too.
Yep.
Correct.
yeah, didn't Mike say that
Yes.
if he expands, he has to come back to
Yep.
this?
Right.
Yep.
I had 2 greenhouses. Too much work. I took one down,
Yeah, he did.
and I'm happy with that. That's enough. It's probably still more than enough, but it was a good deal.
And we can stipulate that a log be maintained, right? So
Yeah,
Planting,
because
filtration, replacement
I think Lee J
plants,
already
right.
has that in mind on maintaining a log on the maintenance of the
Yes.
filters.
Yes.
plants in, filtration replacement, plant harvest, those 3 dates. Keep
Yep.
it easy for Mike.
Yep, I would say, provide us a maintenance log that would give Mike something to at least look at first, and then just require that that log be maintained on a regular basis and submitted, every 6 months or once a year for our records here in Townhall, and that gives Mike the opportunity to make sure that things are being done. And if they're not, then, we can find out if they're not being done.
His grow season is 5 months. So I mean, if he's replacing a filter once,
Yep,
I don't see why annually wouldn't be sufficient.
yep, you can require
Yeah,
that.
annually would be good on this one.
And do we have the ability to put something in about not burning?
Yes.
Is that we have capacity for that? I mean,
Yes.
I know you say you're not
Yeah,
doing
no,
that
that's
anymore,
a great
but you do
idea.
talk about
You know what?
decarbonation, and if you are burning the plants,
Do you know what?
that
I
does
also, it's
create
just again a learning curve. I burned it because you see that, like that's what and it had some mildew, and then I realized, you know what, I don't want to do that because I don't want those spores around. So I started bagging it after that, and I feel better about it.
Yeah.
So
well, that would trigger the
Yeah.
decarbing.
yeah,
Like,
yeah.
burn it at the dump.
Just take it and burn it somewhere else.
Goes in, yeah, RWS, which would burn everything in it anyways.
Right, yeah, you could condition it on any plants that are being taken out of use on the property not be burned at the property and be properly disposed of.
Properly disposed of, yeah.
And clippings.
No, that's
Yeah.
right.
Said clippings.
Yes.
Yeah,
yes.
absolutely.
That makes sense.
Yeah, because same thing. If you leave them around, they get moldy, so you just bag them up.
Do we want to give Vijay a chance to come up with the conditions, or do you think you
Kind of
can?
looks like he's been writing pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah. I can give it a shot if you want.
Yeah, I'll fill in for you if there's anything.
Okay, between the two of you, what 3 of them?
Mhm.
Yeah, just to make sure that I got all of them. We've got annual log maintained with
Yep.
plant date filter replacement and harvest annually turned in. Clippings and biomass from the process disposed of properly.
And not burned on site.
And not burned on site. And the third one was, what was the third one?
I thought there was only two.
Oh, there was two.
Maybe there was only two.
I think
Yeah.
that
We
when
were
we talked
talking
about
about
bagging
the-
versus burning, and I think we.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
the nitrate, but there's no
Oh.
evidence that that's required.
No.
And he's not mixing it with
Right.
solid waste.
Oh,
or
I think the
wastewater.
third one that we discussed was if he expanded.
Oh,
Yeah,
yes,
expansion of the
Yeah.
facility.
But that's already
That's
in,
what that is
right.
for.
Yeah.
Do we need to?
Yeah, but we don't
Can't
have
hurt.
to.
Can't hurt.
Can't hurt? Okay,
Well, it's just more things that you have to go through. I mean, I have to go through it anyway.
right.
And so if you put it in there, then that's just, it's,
You'll have to come to us for
Well,
expansion,
right.
that's all.
that's
Site
fine.
plan review? It's a site plan.
Yes.
This is site plan review.
Yes.
But that's what it'll trigger, yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay,
Yep.
so at this point, we got our conditions, and the motion would be to approve the application with the conditions,
As proposed with the.
as
conditions.
proposed with the conditions, yeah.
Do you want me to go through those again so we're all clear, or are we good?
So the other thing I might add
Mhm.
as a condition would be to, that the applicant is also conditioned on any information presented to the board.
Verbally.
You could do verbally, or verbally
Verbally or
and
written.
in writing. That way,
Verbally and written, yes, okay.
You talking
So
about
anything
from-
that was discussed
yes.
or given to us and
Right.
shown, or recorded, everything, okay.
Yep.
Yep.
I'm sorry, I didn't understand that.
You have to comply with everything that not only you presented, but anything that you had said and agreed to,
Oh, okay,
okay?
gotcha.
Okay.
Yep.
Are we ready? Who is willing to make the motion to approve this application with the proposed conditions set forth? Oh, Clyde. Clyde. May I have a second? Jim or? Jim? All in favor? 6-0.
You want me to hand them to you now?
Yeah.
Okay. Can you read my writing?
She's got it on tape.
Yeah, it's on video. Thank you for doing that. There you go. Next steps will be findings of fact, and she doesn't have to be here for those. She's gonna write up the findings of fact. We're gonna review it, vote on that if they're sufficient, and then we will be good to go. So just keep in contact with Angela.
Should be at the next meeting.
All right, and that's the
20th.
20th?
Yes.
And what is it called, the facts?
Findings of fact.
That's the legal document that.
Just everything we discussed and agreed to.
Just want to know what to look for. And that's it?
That's it?
Guys, it has been a long time, and I appreciate all your time, for sure. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a great night.
Can I come up and see it?
I would love it. Yeah, for sure. Yay.
The 12th.
Get some tips. Carol's gonna be doing that.
Oh, I wouldn't use both at the same time, so I already know that. Okay, next on the agenda is any new business? None?
No.
Any communications? Any miscellaneous from anybody? May I have a motion to adjourn? Fine. May I have a second? Jim? All in favor? 6-0. We are adjourned.